Push it all the way.
I guess that part makes sense.
I hear it now.
So we thought
Put it all the way.
The older.
I thought we were gonna see bands like that. You know, like getting his heartbreak drink vibe. But what was breaking drink?
I'm sure it's
Suffocating.
There are, but still, like majority of what he
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care how popular you are, who you are. There's always gonna be another one you're gonna come to.
I mean, unless she's like married, so.
No, she's single.
What?
She's
In fact?
because she knows.
So, directly on you, it's like, I'll take it out the dinner. You don't say no?
It's not dinner, and dinner is one thing.
Fucking is another thing.
Right, yeah.
Oh, so you want to give it to Drake?
Like, first of all, I'm not a. He's not my type.
Okay.
Like the way you
So what's
remixed it.
so wait.
Still
So Drake's having two because of what?
Are we good now, y'all?
Locals?
Someone said Jonah's phone with an Android phone.
Somebody
I see a few Androids on the table.
Hey, let us know if you can hear us now. Sorry about
It's
that.
working now. Thank you,
Okay,
Loretta.
It's a lot of notifications.
Appreciate you.
Great. Just in case y'all didn't hear what I said earlier, I'm gonna say it again. Hey, if you're watching and you want to chat with us, go ahead and sign into YouTube. All you need is a Gmail account. Sign in, and you can jump on the chat and chat with us and just ask us questions or whatnot. Also, if you're watching and you know people who want to have a good conversation like we're about to, go ahead and share the link with them so they can join in and chat with us too. And have great conversations like we're about to. We're gonna go ahead and jump in there because we don't want to run out of time or whatnot. But everybody's good today. Right?
Yeah, we're
Ready to have
great.
a conversation.
Great.
Oh, introduce yourselves again.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that part. Peter.
Bri Drake.
John.
Billie.
John.
Yeah, that part. We got
Yeah.
2 Johns and we got a Drake. We win it.
That part.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into this topics, man. Everybody's having a good time, right? Good conversation.
Always.
Yes.
Word.
All right, so we'll jump straight into it. Let me see here. We'll go with the. Let's see. Yeah, it's the first one on there. I'll go ahead and read it out. So here's how this one goes. I overheard a man telling his friend that he will not apply pressure chasing a woman that he's talking to, and basically because he knows of another man who hit it with very little effort. His friend was in agreement and said, she can't be mad at you for not wanting to put in the effort after you found out, she let someone else hit real quick. She needs to be consistent, keep the same energy. So, and then this lady is shaking her head and she says, these were grown men not younger than 29 or 30 years old. Can a woman not want better for herself? Let's just talk about that situation, right? I mean, I want to be like a normal person. Like I have sense. I see where the guy is coming from, but at the same time, no. Actually, no. I want to be like a mumu boy. I'll be like, I see where the guy is coming from. But then if I want to be like, put my mature hat on, and I kind of see how they're full of shit, right? So I want to see,
So I think it's one of those things like I want to get the woman's
perspective
first before we kind of go in and actually.
Why?
No. I just want to hear where you're coming from as a woman because the topic is interesting. I have some pointers to add to that, but I'm like.
Then ask them. I want to hear what y'all have to say.
No, because
you agree
before.
with this?
So in all honesty, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge chaser. Because like I know my worth.
Oh, that's why you drink your alcohol straight.
You get me? All need all day. But I'm not a huge chaser, right? And the reason is that, I feel like if I express my intent, if we hang out at least one time, it's either you see chemistry there or you don't. So it's like I'm gonna keep it on the same energy. What I'm saying with you, right? So like in terms of the whole chasing thing, because I've seen people put in like they do like I'm gonna hit up 10 women. At least one gonna fall.
They play the numbers game.
You know what I'm saying? Like they play the numbers game, like you said, right? So, but in all honesty, it's like that's a lot of work, to constantly at least connect with 10 people. So like if I take my time and I talk to you and I'm like, hey, what's up, you know, whatever. Either you vibe or you don't.
But these guys apparently just want to hit.
No, but this is different though, right? So the thing is that they're 29, 30, right? So if I'm gonna be from their perspective, they're probably in an advanced stage of life where it's like, you know what, I can get like a decent amount of women, and I know whatever it took to let this other friend hit, they're coming from that perspective. Maybe I'm better than that nigga. So it's like, it's a little different from their side, right? Now from the woman's perspective, you're 29, 30. Like, he probably hit when she was younger and was still trying to figure out herself. So it's like, there's a lot of context that can go with this perspective, right?
I mean, honestly, if we're just talking about smashing, it's one thing. If we're talking about connections, it's something different, right? It doesn't really indicate how old the young woman was in this scenario, but regardless, sometimes we just want to smash too, honestly.
And that's fine.
If we come across a guy and we're like, oh yeah, he's fine, yeah, I think he could do what he do, okay? And that's all we see him as, then we'll go for that, and that be that, right? But then if there's another guy that comes along and there's certain things about him that we are actually attracted to and connect with, then yeah, we might want that to be more of like a prolonged situation where we get to know them, they get to know us before we just make it sexual, because sex complicates things.
So would you say that from this experience, maybe the other guy did not look like a long-term possibility, and oh boy, that's, you know, trying to talk to her looks like a long-term possibility, so she's trying to take it slow. Would that be like a logical thing to say?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there is the other side of it where, like you said, maybe she was younger and she just, you know, really was just having fun, right? And then she got older and she realized, you know, slow down, connect more, and that second guy came along during that part of her life. There's that possibility too. I mean, it happens, for sure.
Yeah,
But
it's a possibility, but I think for her, she got to realize that she's talking to guys in the same crew or same close network of circle. So she needs to look at how the perception of that is like, how does that really look?
That's
So
true.
that's, you know, she can't be mad that, oh, homeboy's like, okay,
I have a problem with that though. Like, I feel like if you're actually looking for love or looking for like something solid, like, I'm sorry, we're in Houston, depending on who you are. I'll give you an example, we're in Houston, right? Depending on who you are, one of your boys has probably like done something with most of the women that you meet in fucking Houston.
Nah,
And Houston are like, it's a small world.
I think people are lazy.
People forget.
No, people are lazy and not patient. It's a lot of people that, I mean, obviously somebody's involved with somebody, but
you snooze and you lose. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's fine too.
Let's talk about, and I was just gonna bring it up, but I just had a comment that's kind of going in that direction too, about the whole idea of putting pressure or putting in the work, or, you know, as women, what do y'all define as putting in the work? Because, again, like I said, I want to see his point of view, because we're already assuming that he doesn't want to be in a relationship. He probably wants to be, but in his mind, this is, he's going to, we don't know that he doesn't want to be in a relationship. Let's not say
but
he
at the
doesn't
same
want
time,
to.
just because of his age,
he's
still young. He's 29, 30, or maybe.
Is that
that young?
young? That's not
That's
young.
young.
That's young.
That's young for guys.
That's young
For guys,
No,
yes.
really?
Yeah.
African mothers have left the building.
I guess when it comes down to culture, it makes a big difference,
No,
right?
that's-
Because a lot of the young men that I know that are that age, they haven't peaked maturely yet.
Okay.
They
Okay.
still have a lot of growing to do. I mean, you see it all the time. You see 35, 40-year-old guys in the club, like every weekend.
I'm sorry, so if you're 35 or 40, you can be in the club?
I'm just saying, every weekend. Unless you
I mean,
work in the club,
If you got your friends
he doesn't
coming
have
into town every weekend, then you gotta support them.
You
You know
trying
what I'm
to make it
saying? Like,
Oh,
I'm just saying, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's a little different.
But
okay, fine, boy.
let's talk about
something else to do.
that work. Women always say men don't want to put in the work. Like, let's talk about that comment that Loretta made. She said men don't want to put in that work anymore in relationships. So now we're just going to assume that he's already talking to this person and our boyfriend and girlfriend, but we're saying men don't want to put in that work. So what's that work? What are you expecting a man to do?
Pick
to-
what to
It's
eat for
gonna
dinner.
be depending on the person, honestly. I mean, personally, I feel like if we're going on dates and you still calling me to go on dates and stuff, we done been out multiple times, pay attention. I really don't gotta tell you, like, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, pay attention. Like, if you pay attention and you like somebody enough, the work is not hard.
Okay.
But you know that kind of goes both ways, right?
I was about to say that.
So that goes.
Are
Well,
you
you
doing the same?
pursued
I
me.
feel-
What type of work am I?
And that's what I was about to say, and that's what I'm trying
Wait,
to
so
get
if
at. And
somebody's
that's what I'm trying to
pursuing
get
you,
at.
you don't.
No, that
Why
doesn't
is
mean I'm
he
not
just-
going to, in return,
Okay.
show that I like you too.
Okay.
But you pursued me. Why am I
I
being
look
put
feel
through
like
the ring?
women should stop pursuing men too. Like,
You get me.
If I pursue somebody though, like if I come to you and I'm like, hey, like, I want to get your
How
number,
you
like
doing?
I'm probably gonna have to be like, damn, I'm gonna step to this nigga, like I gotta do something. No, you coming to me.
no, I get that man should most likely make it obvious and make the first,
Not the first. You
but
You don't have to.
It doesn't have to be the
It doesn't
first
have to be,
move, but
yeah.
I think that, men are the hunters.
okay.
So women, we're supposed to be soft and demure and completely, encouraged to be in our feminine energy.
Mhm.
And we shouldn't have to go and chase and run and pursue and all that, right? The man wants to lead, well then lead.
Okay.
You feel me? Like,
So-
a woman is supposed to be the queen and be by her
Chilling.
man's, her king's side, right? But how is a king
Did
Did you
expect
just
to
stick
be?
your hand to the side?
So
I'm just saying.
I get my meat from HEB. I'm not doing any hunting. So if I'm going to be honest with you, it's played out.
what then that mean? You need to pursue somebody who
Who's
doesn't
low maintenance.
require
No,
you
it's not-
to
I don't
do
think-
that.
I don't think it's a
Because you
maintenance
can't pursue somebody and then make me feel like I'm wrong for. I was already like this when you came to me. You just didn't know that.
Okay, so if you meet a man that's
So now
already,
that you know, then you move. It's too much for me. Go.
so it's all about, it all comes down to what you see in a person, right? So if you see a man and he's not the type that likes to hunt, and he's expressed that, and he said, hey, you know what, I vibe with you, he's expressed how he felt, how he's feeling at that moment in time, right? And he's like, I'm not really a hunter, I'm not gonna call you every single day, because I got shit to do, you know what I'm saying? And I think like, it's not a bad thing.
Wait.
No,
When I
it's
say-
not a
I don't
bad
think
thing.
calling
No,
somebody
no,
every
but-
day is like
no,
hunting.
but-
That's just.
But you
No,
keep
it's
saying
consistency.
hunting.
It's consistency.
But once you
Because
already here, you're done hunting.
Because
Got shit to do, okay.
I view hunting involves consistency. Do you feel like that?
No, hunting
No.
is you're looking for something. Once you're here,
Once you
what
got
are
the
you
person,
hunting
you're just
for?
trying to.
No, but
no.
Now is where
to
you
tie
be
into what it's
consistent.
saying though.
Because
Yeah.
I'm here.
So I guess
It is a process.
there could possibly be a thin line between hunting and being consistent, whatever. But hunting, you already got you established. Oh, we're not talking to each other, but you're not official yet. And then you want to be consistent. Even
At that point.
that carries over into also being in a
Right.
relationship, right? So what he's saying that could go back to when you're still trying to. You're not official yet. So he's saying, I'm talking to multiple people. I'm not really. And probably when he feels like, okay, we're together, and then he can look at being consistent. But I think to his other point, we're looking for consistency on both ends. It shouldn't be just the man who needs to be consistent, who needs to put in effort.
Well, that's
Both people need to put
honestly,
in effort.
that's natural. If somebody's doing the things that I'm gonna fall in line, like consistency on both ends comes
Right.
from, okay, like you said, you're leading, oh, okay, cool, I'm here. Like, that's where that consistency comes from. You can't expect me to be here and you over here.
But can we also agree that the same way you're saying he's not being consistent and you're not going to do anything, it could also be the same thing for a man. If he's not seeing
Well, that doesn't
something.
mean not doing anything.
No, I get that.
I
get
think
that.
those situations come
'Cause-
from when one person likes the other more. Because if both people like each other, you're gonna, through your actions and your conversations, it's not gonna be like, oh, one person is doing more than the other. They equally like each other that much and they want to maintain that relationship.
So,
But
but
if one person likes the other more, the other person that doesn't like him as much is probably just gonna be like, oh, this
It's
person's
gonna be-
giving me attention, I like it, I don't have to do anything, type of thing, and just kind of like,
Well,
let's
sometimes you
enjoy.
have to recognize the person that you're pursuing. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, too many
if-
people project. That's
yeah,
true.
because that doesn't mean I don't like you, but you came to me. I gotta see if I like you.
Okay.
Mhm.
This wasn't
Okay.
something that grew. Like, you came and you pursued me, and maybe we went on a date and I didn't do something following the date, but I just met you. I don't know if I like you.
The Lord knows I've been in that position where
So-
I just, I'm kicking it with this guy for the first time. We had, pretty much the whole afternoon to evening spent together, lunch, moved into, other things, right? And by the end of the night, when I wouldn't go home with him, he was upset. And he had expectations, right? And he made it very clear. He blocked me after that
This
and
is the first
everything,
night
right? Yeah.
Like
kid
first
you
date,
not.
first.
Kid you not,
So-
right?
so
like
this
we
is-
have been, like we had FaceTime, texted and all that. We go and spend time together for the first time, and that happens.
How long were y'all
How long?
talking
Yeah,
before?
that's
At
that first
least
date?
a month or so, at least.
so why
And
did it take
you
them a
want
month to see each other?
Oh, because we were out of state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's always tricky though.
It's really
Is
not.
Yeah.
It's really
Isn't it?
not.
I mean,
Who took the trip?
with long distance
He
is
took the
tricky.
trip or you took
I
the
mean,
trip?
it is,
Because-
but when it comes down to it, like how do you spend time with me for the first time, right? And then automatically have expectations of me and what I give to you physically, right? Like, and then on top of that, the way he handled it afterwards was completely immature.
Yeah.
This was a man who was much older than me at that, right? So I was shocked. You know, my girlfriend and I, we were really like sitting there like, wow, I can't believe this man is acting like a child because I won't have sex with him on the first night. He blocked me for a couple of days, and then after a couple of days, and then after a couple of days, he unblocked me and then reached out to me and expected me to just be okay with how he treated me.
Well, first off, that if the guy's doing that, then he's not right for you. That's
Yeah.
one.
Well, obviously, but we're talking about a man who expects to be able to hit because his homeboy hit.
So I think one of the, from that particular scenario is like, what was the conversation leading up to when you guys eventually met, right? Because I've been in situations where it's like, no, well, not me. I've observed situations where it's like, there's like conversations happening before you guys meet up, right? So you're already talking dirty, you're already doing all this, setting this expectation. And when I see you, I'm gonna do all this double guac, extra things, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, like, I'm gonna keep saying things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you set this expectation. And when you guys finally meet, all that talk, all that extra stuff that you were doing, it's not materializing. So it's like, excuse me, hello? You know what I mean? So it's like,
That's a
So-
completely
so-
isolated scenario, though.
so
Yeah.
I always ask
That's
these
an
questions.
expectation, but then don't, you know, your words don't match your actions, and that's on you, right? Like, that's on the girl.
Somebody said John is a high value man.
What you
That
done?
boy has
Let's,
us.
let's run through those comments real quick. D says the guys are childish. She wanted to have sex with the other person, and so she did. End of story. Effort can mean different things, and whatever effort meant for her with the other person is what it is. Loretta says people don't want to put in the work. We talked about that. D also says him equating it to be based on what she had with someone else is silly and a dumb thing. Let's see. Maybe she's interested in him differently, which is what we talked about. She probably, like what you said, she probably didn't see much of the other guys. Just feel like you could get it, whatever. But again, that's actually childish because
Y'all
low
do it all
key-
the time.
No, but here's the thing. That low, you know, it's like
It's no double standard. That's what
like
you
okay. Let me tell you about this story. There's this story I read somewhere. This lady, she's dating this guy. She wants to keep sex for marriage, but she's out here.
Having sex with people?
Well, people.
I'm
But
sorry,
no,
I'm sorry.
I
Wait,
believe
what?
she-
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
Wait.
She literally
She
said,
confused?
no, she said, I value you and I want to wait with you, like we need to wait, no sex
So
with
is
you.
he a virgin?
I don't even know what it was. I just know that. I saw that stuff and I was like, are you
So
serious?
she's not
okay.
valuing, you know, outside.
But she's,
But men do that.
So
No,
he
but
can do something.
nobody would lie like that and say, you know, I ain't gonna
No.
fuck you till, like, no.
yeah, I was
That's-
about to say.
no nigga
So-
ever
There's
lie.
very
No
small
guy's gonna do
percentage
that.
of men
So that's
that
why I'm
are
just
gonna
like-
withhold.
That goes without being said. Trust me. Like, niggas gonna say that. Somebody know niggas gonna lie and say that.
Wait, what?
Because you gotta think, and I'm okay from a woman. You dated somebody that y'all probably went on dates, did this, but never had sex.
Then you know they're hitting something else.
Exactly. I don't have to
Well,
ask you.
Especially if he's not pressuring you.
Right,
No,
so
but
that
what
means you might.
Oh, so you feel like if a guy's not pressuring you, then he's doing it
He's
with
more
someone
than
else?
More than likely.
I mean, that's not. It don't even have to be a conversation, honestly.
Hey.
That's a good
No. As a decent person.
Well, I mean, between
no.
the two, like I'm not gonna ask you
Unless I am interested in having sex with
right.
you.
Unless we get to that point, I'm like, okay, what you got going on? But if
Right.
it's not right there, and we vibing and we going on dates, we
Yeah.
doing this, and you're not pressuring me, why would I mess up because
Why would I get in your business?
So,
That's not how
so you're saying that if a man is not pursuing you to have sex,
He's
he's
doing
having
it with
sex with someone else.
More
If
than
we're
likely.
not exclusive,
What if you're not giving the vibe that you know what?
okay, well just keep taking
So
it
he's
and
trying.
doing it.
Wow.
We just gonna keep
We
it
just gonna
going.
keep going
We
to
gonna
it.
keep
Yo,
on going.
Billie's a cheat.
Or months or whatever.
And do you. Go ahead, go
I'm gonna
on.
mind my business.
Like,
You got some
and
sense.
whatever comes
So
of this,
see, this is the problem, right? This is why we
What?
say why we say nice guys finish last.
You know,
Okay.
last.
You've heard it. You've heard it here.
Last. He's having sex.
No, he's
somewhere
finishing
else.
last.
think so.
No,
but
you think
there's
so.
a chance that
No.
he's actually not.
But-
But
Yeah.
okay, what about this? You have to, as a woman in that position, you have to at least acknowledge the possibility that he is being sexual with someone else. Even if y'all are not talking about it, you can't necessarily assume he is. Sure, that's not right, but you have to.
So why not bring it up?
Bring it
If
up.
I'm
Like,
saying,
I'm
why
not
not
saying,
bring it up
like,
and have a
That's what I'm
conversation?
saying. If I'm not interested in taking it to that level yet, I'm not going to
You're not
bring it
gonna
up.
bring it
But
up.
once we
Okay.
get to a point where it's like, I might like this
I'm not gonna
motherfucker.
go there. Then,
And then
This
it's like,
then it
okay.
becomes our business.
Yeah.
But
You know, but
before
if
that,
it's not, and for me personally, if you don't pursue it, I'm probably not gonna say nothing.
So what
Like,
about, if
so-
he actually does bring it up, does that mean he's not doing it with somebody
No,
else?
that does not mean that.
it
So-
doesn't-
That just means you want to do it with me now.
No,
Right.
but this is another part, right? But as a woman, you have needs too, right?
Exactly.
So at that point, which you're talking and dating to this man, right? And he hasn't brought up he hasn't done any sexual advances towards you, right? And you have needs as a woman.
Mhm.
So do you make that effort to be like, hey, bro, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you do that, or you just wait until he does something?
Well, that's what
She's
I'm
gonna
saying.
fall back.
For
She's not gonna
me
do that.
personally, I don't know. Some women
But you
are a
have
little bit more.
needs though.
Yeah.
Oh, but you gotta understand, and I don't mean by him. What I mean is, I have a way to meet my needs.
Oh, vibrator.
That's what I'm saying.
But facts though, any woman that does not use a vibrator, hey, you're hearing it here from the jump. Go and purchase one. Amazon has some deals.
Or you use one before?
No, I have.
You sound like you're speaking
No,
from
no,
experience
I have
right
bought
now.
vibrators for friends.
Hey,
That need-
which if you have, that's not a bad thing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know.
Guys can have sex toys on deck too. Just saying, like have it ready, okay? She will be impressed, or she might be.
No,
No. I feel like, why do you
Yeah,
use
exactly.
it? When did you use it? And who-
Exactly.
Well, okay, don't take it out the
You
wrapper.
clean it.
Don't take it out the wrapper. It's gonna be brand new.
You going juice to juice.
No,
So
no.
I'm if it's like
No,
open and it's
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
Let me clarify, brand new sex toys,
So it's
fresh
gonna be-
out the package.
She's gonna be pulling out sex toys.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right, because if you got a whole drawer.
On that note,
On that note, I'm gonna read a couple of these comments and we'll go to the next topic. Thank you. I'm curious to understand Abu's comment. He says, why is sex taboo? It's good for your natural health, mentally and physically. It serves as a stress reliever for, I guess, men and women. Why, okay, I guess the main question is why is sex taboo?
I think that's mainly because of religion and culture, different cultures,
Upbringing.
yeah, upbringings. Like it's not a.
I feel like it's only like that with men. Like when women freely express themselves sexually,
It's a taboo.
oh God,
Mhm.
send that
I
head
agree with
ahead. That's how men treat women who are comfortable in their sexuality or showing skin or something like that. So I don't think so much as we make it like that, especially nowadays. Like you said, sometimes women just want to get in there and get out too. Like it's really not a secret. Maybe I just don't want to do that with you, but
I mean, I think women are becoming more comfortable talking about that because prior to women didn't talk like that or
They weren't allowed to.
they weren't allowed to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like we can go down to, well, this might be a long conversation, but 2021, women are dropping that knee. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Yeah.
That's a
So I'm just saying, like, we're getting to that stage where people are more comfortable with, you know, a man doesn't always have to be like a man. You know what I mean? Every
oh
single
God,
time.
I would just like to add that I don't agree.
All right, and we're gonna move to the next topic. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is gonna be a good one. We're gonna have. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a good conversation on this one. All right, so my cousin left her husband. What y'all matching with? Okay. As we were saying, my cousin left her husband because he makes twice what she makes, and he still insists on her paying half the bills. He said that it takes responsibility. He said basically if he takes responsibility for all their bills, and then in the future, if they ever get divorced, she won't be entitled to half of anything. He said no splitting anything 50-50, blah, 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 except extra. And then he also wanted it in writing, right? So that didn't sit well with her, so she left the marriage, and she said she would just rather pay her bills and not be bothered by him.
And she didn't realize this until after they got married.
He probably wasn't making that much money.
Okay, I'll give you an example, right? There's this basketball player. He said, baby, we need to sign this prenup before we get married. The day of the wedding, she hasn't signed the prenup. The wedding did not go ahead. Do you know why? Because she didn't sign the prenup.
But they're already married.
So that's, no, the problem is that for him to get here, the conversation needs to have been had. Like, I feel like it's not something that just came out of the blue. Like, I feel like he's probably been this way, and she just assumed that, okay, when she gets the ring, he will change. And that's the issue. It's like, if you've been dating someone for a while and they're still showing the same tendencies, why do you expect that he's going to change? And that's legit what it is. That's what I feel that this particular situation is. And she's, like, because I think, like, from a marriage perspective, because, you know, I feel like women tend to play this equality card when it's convenient for them. You know, let's calm down.
This man over here raising hairs.
But
Chicken is about to come for you guys.
when it's convenient, right? But in this particular situation, like, because in all honesty, I believe that from a man's perspective, what's yours is hers, and what's hers is hers. So ideally, in this particular situation, that's what she's going with. But I feel like they had conversations, and this dude has probably said that, you know what, I want the prenup, or I want this, I want that. So just not.
Before I jump in, you could go for it.
They're already married.
I'm
You
just
can't
saying.
get married and be like, I want a prenup. No.
Because
No,
your
but
father
like,
wasn't having no money,
he's
but when they got
probably
married.
been doing half and half. since
Yeah, I
they've
need
been
to know a
together.
lot of the back details on this
For
one because,
real.
okay, so the husband makes twice as much money. Okay, we got that established. But what have y'all been doing thus far? Has he been paying all the bills?
So
Like-
let's break it down. Let's just, you know, he's making way more money than her. She's making less. Let's go with that. Is that
It's
is
half,
that
just half though.
right? No, but I mean, yeah, it's half, but he makes more, right? Let's say that he makes more. Is he selfish for wanting her to contribute to?
Yes.
He
No,
is.
he's not.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Let's break it down so we can let's get to the. You're saying yes.
Yes.
He's selfish for wanting her to contribute
Yes,
to the
he is. It's
Why do you
not
think
that
so?
he wants her to contribute. He wants her to do half.
Right.
Sir,
How?
you gonna carry half this baby when I get pregnant?
But he's
You gonna birth half the baby? Like,
It's
there are
stupid.
certain things that men are responsible for in a marriage and women are responsible for in a marriage, okay?
That's not true.
And that's, well, to
It's
me,
not-
it's,
it's not-
to me, it's,
it's
okay?
shifted-
And
it's shifted.
traditional,
For who?
and traditionally,
Like,
it
majority,
is,
yeah.
if we go back to the original origin of unions, not just marriages, but just unions in general, right? There are roles that men and women fall into just biologically, right? Men can carry children, women can, right?
True.
That's something we have to do in order for any of us to be here. So that in itself is putting in work that men can't contribute to. So why in the world would it be like, why would it come down with finances?
So, but if we were to, like I want to try, try to understand this man and see his point of view, right? And then I know that he's taking it too far when he says, you're not gonna be entitled to anything if we ever get. I know he's taking it too far, but I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see that point of view because here's the thing. He's saying if he's gonna end up paying all these bills, then we're not gonna split anything if anything goes wrong. I kind of see I kind of vibe with him on those lines if that makes sense.
So I think it does
Marriage is
depends.
complicated.
It depends on how much money we're talking
No,
about.
it's not.
There's a difference between the half being 100,000 and
It
50,000,
don't matter.
It
Half
doesn't
and
matter how
and
much
1
it
million
is.
and
But we're not going
500,000.
into specifics because we'll
No,
be here
but
all day trying
I'm
to
just being
feel like-
I'm being realistic. Like there are certain scenarios where this is completely fine, and there's certain scenarios where it's like bro, calm down. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if he says you have to give her, maybe he's doing other things. Maybe he's paying for all the vacations they're going to. Maybe he's buying.
Okay,
He's
one
buying
vacation
that.
a year.
He's buying
That's
that.
what
Louis
they sound
bag.
like they go
And the
on
only
vacation.
requirement is saying like, baby, on this rent, you wanted this final house. So can you bring in that 80% so we can ensure that this house that you like so much, even though I wanted a cheaper house, works perfectly for us.
Question-
So like it just depends. On
Question to the lady. So you said that he was selfish. What if you guys were in the same bracket? earning the same amount, would this still be selfish if he wanted?
Still be selfish.
Still be selfish?
In my
Wait,
eyes,
If they were earning the same amount of money, would you still want to contribute? You said you would still be selfish from wanting her to contribute?
I think that those bills that he's paying, he'd be paying them if he was single.
No,
So
he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
He wouldn't stay in the same house. He wouldn't.
He would have a house.
He
He would
wouldn't
have
want to be in a-
electric. He would
So
have
when
gas. He
you
would have
get
all the
married,
same
you would
things.
have, and you making good money, you would have contributed to the household in terms
I'm
of
not saying I
financial.
wouldn't, but
Mm.
for the man to expect
Her to,
that, to me, is unfair. Because when you do join together in marriage, you're one now. You're
Right,
partners.
right,
You're,
right.
It's not a 50-50 thing. You shouldn't even be thinking about if you
Mhm.
get
I mean, that's
divorced.
what
Well,
or-
that's a partnership, isn't
That's
it?
partnership. It's two people
Exactly.
coming together
It,
and.
but again, it comes down to the roles that people play. Like again, men want to be the leaders and they want to make more money than their woman, right? Like, wouldn't y'all feel more comfortable if you made more money than your
No,
woman?
no.
Well, let me.
I'm
I don't know
sorry,
if it's
Melinda
comfortability.
Gates. If I watch
I'm
it,
talking to you. We ain't
Please.
talking about when
Find
you
me.
feel comfortable.
No,
or you want a sugar mama?
you get me. But well, I'm just saying, like, I'll raise the kids.
You don't
I'll
raise
take, I'll take
them.
them to soccer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll
Listen,
Oh, you want me to stay
Women,
home?
I mean, men are actually good caretakers. Right?
You
I
get
don't
it.
disagree. I don't
Like,
disagree.
I'll
men
change
are
diapers,
really
you
good at
know.
raising kids.
But let me add this when you're talking about paying bills and stuff. Because I've been in a situation like this before. And it went without being said. I didn't have to pay anything, but when it ain't no food in here,
Mm.
that was on me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's other things that you probably don't think, but if you walk in here and you want a bottle of water and it ain't none because I didn't go get none,
That's a
it's
problem.
like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's not saying that you don't contribute anywhere. When
Mhm.
it's toilet tissue not on the roll, you're gonna be looking at me.
Right.
Because that's not something that you,
Think
on
to
a
do.
day-to-day, but those are things that are crucial.
Yep.
Personally,
Especially when kids get involved.
I think it goes back to what somebody said, it depends on who you're with.
Well,
In that situation, low key, if I wear your shoes, I'll be like, look, I'm not your house girl. Like, low
but I'm just saying, honestly, I didn't care. I ain't have to pay.
yeah, but, so you were
But I'm
making
just-
those things available, but he was paying for them. Is that what you're saying?
Making who?
You were making those things available, like, oh,
Well, I'm
tissue
just
paper,
saying,
blah, blah,
like,
blah, blah.
those are things that I could sit here and not do nothing. So when you talk about not contributing and paying bills and
Right.
stuff, and I didn't always, like, it's not like, oh, I need money to go buy groceries. I
Right.
got my own money. I can get good groceries in this house. I can, you know, if I'm buying myself something, oh, I can buy you a jacket. Like, it's other things. You still need clothes. You still need,
Okay.
it's, forget the
So
rent.
you're saying,
Because it's still, when people say, oh, I'm paying all the bills, they just talk about a light bill, a car
Right, right,
note,
right, right.
rent. That's minuscule because like you said, you're gonna be doing that regardless.
so you're
Now,
not
let's
gonna ask him
talk
for
about
money,
all the
right?
other stuff.
When you want to go shopping, you're not gonna ask him for
I
money?
didn't say
You're gonna
that.
use your money?
What I said was I can put groceries in here.
So you gonna
But
pay
I'm
for the
saying I
groceries?
can,
You're paying for the groceries?
yeah,
Okay.
like I'm probably cooking them.
So let's
You know what I'm
Unless
saying?
you're marrying a chef or something, then yeah.
she's made a great point where it says that, you know what, if a man's paying all the bills, there's certain expectations that come with that, right? So building out the home, making sure the home is good. Like if I come, like she mentioned, come back home and there's no bottled water, and see what have we been doing all day, you know? So, but I think like most people want all that part, like him paying all that stuff financially, but are not ready to put in the work or don't understand that there's a lot of work that comes on the other side when a man is taking care of all the bills. So like if I was getting a house, picking out the color scheme, whatever paintings we want to do, picking out the furniture, all that extra stuff, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm not Bob the Builder, but you know, if you're good with tools, baby girl, you know, do what you got to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they're like expectations that come with all that I feel like a lot of women are not ready for, not willing to put in the work or willing to learn to get to that point.
But that's a lot of work. I don't think people understand just because you might be at home, that's a lot of work.
No, it is a
Well,
lot of
let's
work.
not, I mean, the fact, this particular scenario, this woman is working.
Mhm.
She
And
just
that's the
happens to
thing
make
too.
it.
She's actually working.
My grandmother went to work longer than my grandfather. My grandfather retired way before my grandmother did. My grandmother went to work every day, and she still came home, cooked, and all that. My grandfather did contribute to the household chores and stuff, but ultimately, for a long time, my grandmother held down both ends, right? I mean, she was a unique woman in doing that because not every woman's going to be willing to do that, right? But
So let me ask you this question real quick. Like you just pointed out in this situation, she's working. Do you think, or don't you think, it's a little selfish for her to not want to contribute anything at all?
No,
It's
because
not?
she doesn't make half as.
But like we just said, she's working, right? She's working.
What if she's
So
working?
she's
to
probably
save up to
buying
start a
groceries.
business?
She's probably paying her car note. She's probably
She
paying
doing
her
groceries.
phone bill.
She's doing groceries.
She's probably
That's fine. If she's doing groceries, that's good. That's a good thing. That's what I'm
But I'm
saying.
just saying,
But
groceries
the
are
car
expensive.
note, don't do the car note.
Okay.
That's okay.
Just how come?
Anyway.
And she probably got the
When I said that, I mean
Like a phone
like
bill.
if you're gonna equate that to contributing to the household, don't do
She drives
that.
that.
You know, now if he's been a car note, that's good, beautiful.
But if I didn't have a car,
Then how I'm getting to work?
you can probably go buy your car. He's gonna pay for it too.
It's 2021. There's Uber, there's Lyft. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But-
Wait, if
I'm-
he gonna buy her car, but he got an issue with paying all the bills, that ain't adding up.
Okay, no, here's the thing. All right, let's talk about this real quick. Chica made a comment. She said, she's basically saying it could be proportional. We could see how much each person is earning. She's basically saying, why does it have to be half or all? It can be proportional to each other's salary. You agree with that? Just say yes or no. So we move on. No?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just
But
saying,
no.
if you're
but
making
a
that
woman will
amount
not
of
be down with
money,
that.
That's what I'm telling you.
Like-
That's what I'm asking them. That's what I'm
I'm
asking
down
them.
with that.
No?
You have to know who you're with, obviously, like, you do. You really do. At the end of the day, some women want to make more money than their men. They want to be able to have that, you know, in the relationship, that dynamic. And some women feel the opposite. Some women want their man to be the breadwinner. And you just have to know at the end of the day who you're with and what kind of relationship you're getting into, and have those kind of conversations before you get
Right.
married.
and don't do
right,
it
so, like,
after
when-
you've been doing it for 5 years and
Right.
like 6 years, I'm finna start.
Right.
When you get married, do you expect to have a joint account? Because I always thought, in my mind, I'm like, okay, people get married, they have their joint account, they have their individual accounts. And that joint account is supposed to take care of
The
what they're
family.
building together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I always
So
said the same thing.
regardless of, okay, so this person makes more than the other, but I assume they should have a joint account, and it's about what are we contributing to this for.
So are you
family.
potentially saying that all the bills can come out of that joint account or no?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm
we
saying.
should, yeah.
Yeah, but now the question is, what are we
What
contributing?
percentage
Yeah,
is do you
what's,
put into
what
that
are we
account?
because it's based on the income, right?
Right.
So we can proportionally calculate the
Whatever.
numbers.
So-
Now
to
so-
make-
that sounds more
That makes
reasonable.
So Michael said something. He said, let's flip it, right? So if the woman was making more money than the man, would they pay a significant portion of the bill?
Yes.
And,
So-
and that could tie back
so-
to Chica's question.
Yeah. So
Being proportional.
the two ladies right here, if you're making, let's say you're the person making 200K, and he's making $100,000, and you're making 200K, how's that bill gonna be split?
If I'm making 200 and he's making 1,
Mm-hmm.
he makes good money.
And you got to follow up with something. That's it? Nothing else?
Bro!
That's what it is?
I know she agrees. She always smiling.
He's making more money, period.
You
Stop.
didn't even let me finish.
Yeah.
No, you said
There
that.
we go. It's more.
That motherfucker make good money. So honestly and realistically, I'm gonna just say this. I'm not even gonna go answer that question. If you got it and it's okay, he not gonna complain.
So what are you gonna use your money for?
You didn't just hear me?
But he has a legit question though. I'm with him.
Okay, but this one, okay. First of all, let me say this, because people just wanna say men paying all the bills just mean like you sitting on your ass or you just keeping your money to yourself just in case I gotta leave this motherfucker. And that's not what it is.
That sounds like what it is, though.
I mean, in a way, yeah, I always take care of myself. But what I'm saying is,
That's not always what it is.
that's not the
That
mindset.
shouldn't be the assumption. She ain't doing
She
shit.
doing nothing with her money, so she must.
No, but here's the thing.
So what's she doing
what
with
are you doing with money?
That's
That's-
what I'm
If this okay, if I'm in a marriage,
Uh-huh.
I would take care of my husband. Not, and I'm not saying I'm paying all the bills. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
So how would you
when
take
I
care?
take care of my husband, like
You're
there are
buying
other
suit?
expenses that
Don't fly them out to Vegas.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No, but
there are other
All
expenses.
expense paid.
Hell yeah.
So you organize all the vacations, is what
Hell
you're saying?
yeah.
Basically, when
Okay.
you in
Hell.
situations like that, you're almost like a whatever you need, wherever you're needed person.
You must like vacations.
so listen. She said a good point. When you are married, right?
Oh.
As a man in this, well, not me, sure, but all these other niggas that are out here, when they are dating and trying to approach women, when we say, oh yeah, when we married, we're gonna do this and this and do this and this and that, right? But in a normal way of life, nobody does that. Like you want this man to pay for your dinner every time you go out. You want this man to buy your flights when you guys are going on vacations. You want him to do this and that. If he says, oh, you know what, baby girl, you know, when you are married, I'll fly you out. When you are married, you know, you don't have to put the tip in the bill. You know what I'm saying?
No, because you're making it seem as if just, I didn't say only when we're married. I'm just saying that if I'm dating somebody and I really like you and you're my boyfriend, it's gonna go, and you take care of me, like,
Right.
I probably would do whatever for you.
That's the thing, right?
That's
That's the thing. Men need to understand that a good woman will do anything.
And
So-
you don't have
for
to
a
tell
good
me to
man.
do
So-
things
Well, it's natural.
So guys,
So
we're
she automatically
nurtured.
pay
So
out.
guys,
No,
listen.
because then women are nurtured.
So listen, guys, you get it here, right? If she's not spending on you, she does not like you. She
No,
does not like you.
That's facts.
That's
Oh,
not-
Listen.
But that's facts though.
Hold on.
That's what she's
That
saying.
is
That's what
facts.
y'all are saying right now.
Yes.
If she hasn't bought you a PlayStation 5, she doesn't like you.
That's facts though.
You know?
We can agree on that. We can definitely agree on that. But I was gonna say like, I'm really bothered.
by me?
I'm
What
no,
I said?
not by y'all, but by the narrative that if you're earning more than him, with that same number, 200K to 100K, I'm a little bothered about that you're not even gonna try to, you know, pay some bills or, you know, like.
But that's what I'm not, that's what
No,
I'm saying.
I get that you would probably, oh, you're gonna buy groceries.
But no, that's what you said. Groceries, I don't think, groceries can easily be $200 a week.
No, you're right, and that's
Especially with a
facts.
man in the house.
Easy.
Okay.
So that week, that $1,500, you paying $1,500 in groceries this
But you
week?
make
Okay,
200,000.
can we
The reason why I
agree?
say like
But that's-
marriage,
but those-
marriage
this is just
seems
numbers.
complicated
I'm just
is
That's
because
150K after
I think
tax.
for me, I'm like, what's the goal of the marriage? Like, what are y'all come together and you're like, okay, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives together. We're gonna take this journey together. First of all, as individuals and coming together as a couple, what is the goal? Because money plays a factor into that. So if you're making more money than he is and you expect him to pay all the bills, well, what is your money going towards in terms of the goal of the marriage? Because if there's no goal for the marriage, then I guess you could do whatever you want with your money. But if there is a goal, like, because in my mind, I'm thinking like it's kind of like a business. Not saying marriage is a business. It's kind of like a business.
Business.
Everything, there's a goal, there's a direction the company's going towards. So it's like, that money's actual value bringing in. So it's like, do you really expect your man to be out there busting his ass, using all his money for the value of the family, which is fine, but yet your money's just sitting there, and it's just sitting there because you're like, okay, I don't want to spend my money. But at the end of the day, it's still a family. So that money has to be going towards something. for the
So let me
family.
use that as
Exactly.
an example. Let me use that as an example. So, I'm married, right? You know, thank you very much. I have a ring on my finger.
The tears are
Yes.
there.
Anyway, but I say that to say, I'm not trying to divulge our economic situation before I go home and I go and chop kin. I'm not about to do that, but here's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. So, we split stuff in a way that's more reasonable for both of us, right? I pay bills, she pays bills as well, but I could say I pay more bills, but she does grocery shopping. She's paying off my credit card, if that makes sense. Is that making sense? Because I'm paying bills. And like he said, what's your money just doing sitting there if it's just gonna be in the account? You know? So she's helping me pay off some credit cards, right? Or some balances here and there because I'm doing such and such and such and such.
You're
And
paying
then,
the larger bills. and
right.
she's paying the-
And she also says that I have other responsibilities that I'm taking care of, which doesn't necessarily involve her. But she sees that that's where majority of my money is going. So she's able to say, you know what, I'm going to do this with my money to better us, because we in our team, right? So
Absolutely.
does that make sense? So it's like, that's why I said I'm a little bothered by, oh, you're earning
But
200K.
no, that wasn't the question though. The question was, would I be helping pay
Yeah.
the bill?
Yeah, because these are part of the bills too,
Because
right?
you can go into specifics like your credit card and stuff, but like I said, there's things around the house you're never gonna do.
No, but the problem is
So
that
it's not about y'all. If you want to put a price tag on it, that's what I'm saying. You want to put a price tag on it, we can, because you break it down. Things around the house that have to be done monthly are probably more than that $1,000 ring. And I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I don't know how much our ring is, but I'm just saying like if you spending $1,000 on rent, I'm probably spending $1,000 over here doing this. That's what I'm saying.
No, but the problem is that we asked, what are you using your 200K for? because if he's paying the bills and he's doing
that's the same thing.
No.
If you're paying $1,000 in rent, all this stuff around the house, I'm paying $1,000 this month too. So what do you mean? What am I? So then the extra.
What's $1,000 that does not involve bills? Like I'm trying to understand. Like what are you doing? Like
You need clothes.
I shop at Ross.
You shop at this kind of, okay, so we know where you got this from.
It's not Ross.
Okay. She said recognize the person that you're talking to because so if I get with this person, I'm like, okay, I see my man wear this, he wear that, he wear this. Obviously,
that shirt costs.
you know what I'm saying? So if I have to do something, I know what my man wear. If he need clothes, I know I'm finna spend.
What if he doesn't need
What if
clothes?
he doesn't need clothes?
Who don't need clothes?
No,
No,
like
like
that. Because what I'm trying to get at
But
is,
what I'm saying is, throughout the month, you paying those bills are just about as equal to everything else that you probably not doing that I'm doing, but you don't think about it. So
No, but
you
I
don't think
want
that.
to. I'm trying to
So,
understand.
I think there comes
Well, that's
a
kind of
point.
what he said. That's gonna be specific to the union. So if he has credit cards that he needs help with, or this is what we put in place, that's what she doing. If my man is trying to get a house or something, maybe I am putting $300 a month, $400 up for this or whatever. That's specific. You can't really ask that question like.
okay, I see what you're saying.
It's because we talking about. The question is specific to Bill.
No, but the thing is that look at they're married, right? So they're gonna have conversations about finances all the time, right?
Right.
So if I'm in mind I'm making 100K, you're my wife and you're making 200K, right? We're gonna have conversations. Auntie, I know you're making 200,000. I paid bill, like 7% of my check.
So if you lose your job, where you think my money at?
But I don't know that though.
I hope that when you, God forbid that ever happens,
Right.
you don't.
Absolutely.
No, but I don't know that.
You should know if
because
you're
of fact-
married. You
because of
should
fact-
know that that
No,
person
but
got.
because you haven't shown.
I hope so.
You haven't shown that that's. You know what I'm
How?
saying?
I see where it's coming
No,
from
you
because
haven't,
here's
you
the
haven't
thing.
paid a bill, so how
Well,
am I
if
supposed
I
to know
haven't
that?
shown that, why did you marry me?
No, but you know, you can,
Good question.
Good point. But hey, that being said, we need to move forward. This is a good conversation. I mean, it's bringing a lot of extra conversation.
For real.
Because it's a conversation that need to be had, especially
Because that's
if you're in
saying
a
more
relationship
about
with
you.
somebody.
What you married this bitch for?
to take care of my house.
Billie. No.
build my furniture.
These are great conversations. I wish we could continue, but I want us to at least go into the next one, or if we can do one more, that's fine. But let's jump into the next one. And I want to go into this comments, but it's a lot going on in this comments.
I'm
So
looking at the comments and they over there have their own
Yeah, they
conversation.
have
right, it's a lot going on in there.
Yeah.
I really want to tap into it, but we're losing time.
That's
We're
a
losing
really
time.
intricate topic.
It is. That's
Because every
hard.
It's different. That part.
I think marriage is complicated, yo. People really need to take marriage seriously because it's complicated.
Yes,
Like, it
please,
really
don't-
is. It's not something that
that's
you just be
what-
like, okay, let's get married and that's it.
And a lot of people do that.
Hate
Yeah.
marriage
There's
serious.
a lot to go into it.
I would take this one comment and then we'll go to the next one. This person says, as long as we have money management in place, a man and a woman must be on the same page to continue financial freedom. If your partner is not on the same page, then it's difficult.
No, but the thing is that I'll give an example, right? As a man, right?
Make it short.
I'll keep it short as fine. So like, if you have that good money management, way of life, right? And you meet a woman that's not really in that way mentally, and she's more into like the physical things, like get this bag, get these shoes, get these other things and stuff like that.
And
That's not
that's
the
the
woman
worry.
thing.
That's the worry for a man. If you have 200K, he wants to know where's your money going. Are
Okay,
you
that's
more into?
specific to that
you know?
union though. So if I was already buying myself bags and shoes, what make you think I'm gonna stop just because you can't afford to?
Oh no.
If I was already doing that on my own,
One question to you before we go to the next question. So, yeah, you were doing this before you got married. You like what he's saying, you like the physical stuff, bags, whatever. You get into marriage, you see your financial situation, you know that you need to kind of like help out here and there. Are you still going to be buying them bags, or are you going to relax for a bit and help out here and there, or what's the deal?
I'm gonna live within my means.
So
you will stop buying the bags?
I said I'm gonna live within my
You
means.
stop buying the bags for a minute.
So that's a no.
No, I'm trying to get her to say, so you will stop buying the bags for a split minute, until she get back going, and then you can buy your bags again. No?
It's
All
a
right,
no.
no.
It's a no.
I'm going to live within my means.
So it's a no.
So, got something to say?
No, I'm just, we're going on.
Because as long as everything is, if we're good, we good.
But Billie, I just said, you're temporarily not good for a minute, right? So are you
You
gonna
mean
stop?
me or my
You
marriage?
and
No, it's you and
you
him.
and your guy, you
Y'all.
like
They're
together.
all together.
You were temporarily not good for a second, but
He
you
got hurt, he can't work for
You know-
6 months.
she rolled her eyes.
All right.
All right. Next top note. I feel like we need to bring this back in some way or form, or you know. And,
Girl, why is he hurt?
It's y'all. It's
Well,
y'all.
I was just playing because she said he got hurt or whatever. I was just playing.
Okay. We're definitely going to bring this back so we can talk more about it because it's a great topic.
It's interesting.
And maybe the same people because we need to continue from where we left off. if that
Yeah, I
makes
feel like
sense.
there's a lot.
There's a lot more to talk about, so we'll do that. But let's jump into this one real quick.
That's the whole show. So.
1 second, which one should we do? Because I know we might have this one time. Let's see. Let's do the last one, the very last one. I attended a private couples dinner. This is very interesting. I want to talk about it. We might end it quickly too. So I attended a private couples dinner that was hosted by another couple. All the men sat at the table. The other 2 women fixed their husband's plate. You know, and they brought their husband's food to them. And my wife fixed her own plate and came to sit down. The other 2 men had their plates and they were eating. And I was just sitting there. I felt a little disappointed with my wife. Am I wrong to feel that way about her?
No, he's not wrong to feel that.
Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna fix my man plate. That's all I got. I ain't, first of all,
But
when we
what if
out
that's
in
not-
public,
but-
I'm the best wife you ever had.
And that's what I was about to say. But what if that's not what you guys are used to doing in the house?
Exactly.
So she did her thing. You better get up and go do your thing.
Well, I mean, even if you don't, but I'm just saying, come on now, we in public, you better act like you got.
So this is the issue. This is the issue, right? Now, for him to feel bad, right, is because that's public pressure, right? He's only feeling that way because he's seen other guys, their wives are doing these things. You know for a fact
And your wife
that
is
in your
better.
house, she does not do this. He says, honey, food is ready. You get me? You know for a fact she's not doing this. So why would you now have that expectation outside that she's going
She's
to
gonna
make
do
you this
it.
space? Like, bro, what world are you living in?
Well,
Like,
the thing is though, is like when you,
That's
not that people put on a show, but when you go out, this is a private dinner. It's probably a setting that's a lot different from what they occasionally may do. Like you kind of have to kind of like not be different, but
when in
get
Rome.
out, move out your box a little bit.
no, I think
No?
he's just having expectations because other people are doing it.
I think
He
he's
probably
jealous.
Like,
is.
you know who you
Right.
don't mind
He's
to.
probably
Jealous. He's salty.
Maybe that's what he
But,
wants.
and I think maybe that just should be a conversation. Like that could be one of those things. Like you know how people are like, people are constantly changing. Like you be with people change all the time. That could be a conversation that they have. Like, hey, you know, like you'll never do this. It don't have to be him complaining. It could just be like, I saw something and that would be nice.
So he
But
discovered his love language.
in a sense, like,
Okay.
dang, I wonder how that would be if you actually did something like that for me, even if we was at home.
So let me flip
Okay.
this, right? So you married a man that never gone to a strip club in his entire life, right? And all of a sudden, he sees his homeboys going to a strip club and they talk about how they're having a great time. And he's like, hey, babe, you know what, that strip club.
I'm gonna go with you.
No, he
No,
didn't
no,
say,
no.
he didn't say, Auntie, would you like to go with me? He said, hey, babe, the guys are going to a strip club, whatever. First off, he's never done that before. It was never an expectation. He's never said, you know what, strip clubs are things I fancy. And now he's trying to flip the switch, right?
Just because he saw someone else
So,
do it.
because exactly. So it's like, from a
Well,
woman's
that's-
perspective, you'd be like, okay, what are you doing? Are you mad? You know?
I don't think you should say something to me at the dinner.
No, he probably wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. So if you
I don't think
say
he
when
did.
we get in the car, we go home, like, dang, baby, you don't never do that, or that would, you know, like, or even when I'm cooking, you be like, you mind fixing my plate? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ways to say, like, I would appreciate it if you did that for me. Like, that's not a problem, but don't compare that shit to no strip club. 'cause
It's also a cultural thing I've
I was
come to
about to
find
say,
because I grew up in the Midwest,
Mhm.
you know, Chicago, suburbs of that area, right? right? And then I moved down here a few years back, and I once had a man who, by the way, I was not in a couple with, I just met him that day. And he expected me to make his drink. Mind you, I'm at someone's house, you know, a couple of us are chilling by the pool, we're in and out of the apartment, we're, you know, cooking some things inside, bringing it outside, blah, blah, blah. I had made someone else a drink because the drink they made was terrible. And I was like, here, let me help you. I have bartending experience, right? Like, I got you, I'm gonna make you something you like. And I did, and they loved it, and then I guess they hyped it up to the other guys, and next thing you know, the guy is summoning me, and he's like, make my drink, make my drink. I'm like,
Sorry, I'm sorry, how did this someone eat? I don't know about how he does
hold on.
it.
And so then when I asked him like why he expected that of me, he said, well, in the South, women make the drinks, the plates and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I'm from the Midwest, where unless you're married and that's been established in your relationship, you are not expected to do that just because. It's more than likely the man should be making you your plate because you cook the food. But that's how my family dynamic.
But I am going just in that type of setting.
Good job.
I'm definitely gonna fix my man plate because it's another bitch trip. If y'all want drinks and you hand my man a drink.
Well, he wasn't my man though.
Well, no,
That's
I'm just saying like.
So you're
like,
going back to the situation.
So-
Like, I wouldn't really give in a setting like that because I've even been saying, like, we could all be sitting here and I'm over here fixing a plate. I really wouldn't think twice. Like, oh, somebody wants something to eat, and you say, yeah. I'm like, oh, what you want on your plate? I'll just fix it. It's not like I'm obligated to fix it. It's like I'm over here, like,
Are
you
y'all
know.
against any other woman fixing your man's plate?
I am.
Yes.
So that's why I was saying in a setting
Unless
like
she's
that.
like, unless it's like a line and there's
Oh,
a
yeah,
behind
buffet.
each, yeah, and they just here's
Cafeteria
your
lady.
potato, yeah. Unless it's mad, yeah, no.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the situation real quick. So they're at this gathering, and she didn't fix my plate. If another
But that's
woman
why I
fixed
feel
your
like in
plate,
those settings, because I
see what I
wouldn't leave room for somebody else or another woman to fix my man his plate. So
Nah.
a setting like that, I probably would, especially if it ain't no other nigga getting no fixing his plate. I'm like, oh, I gotta fix this nigga's plate. Man, nobody else here. All other niggas sitting down. So, you know, it's almost just like you see what's going on. So, like, I'm just gonna fix your plate.
Yeah.
But even though I might not do that all the
If
time,
your man is there, you're gonna do that?
yeah, my man.
What would you do?
Me personally?
yeah,
Oh.
would you fix your man's plate?
Yeah, I would. It would, like she said, it would just come naturally to
Mhm.
me to ask him, like, hey, would you like me to make your plate? And if he says yes, then absolutely, right? But I mean, that's just me. I have, you know, certain kind of manners that I grew up with.
You know,
But,
it's almost
Right,
but
like-
I do want to piggyback off the example she gave, right? So I'll tell you why that example, you kind of set yourself up for failure, right? Because of the fact that you went there from a professional experience perspective and started doing things for other people, right? And this is your date, right? This is
No.
was
You
your
talking about
date?
the story I told?
Yeah,
what
No,
they
it was
expected
he
me?
was just a.
I had
general-
That's what
met
I'm
him.
saying. Shit.
So,
And my point in that story was-
this is a random guy you met there.
Yes.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, so then he's
Yeah,
bucket.
that's what I'm saying.
But she just talking
That-
about culture, like
Yeah.
No,
culture.
no, but I thought from like, this is like a guy you went to the maybe.
No,
Okay,
I
then
just met him.
he's
So before we jump to the next one, real quick, guys, would you have wanted her to make the food
Yeah.
for you, or?
Yeah. I feel like this different, and not to say people should change or move outside of what they're normal used to, but when you're in a certain environment, you kind of like catering to that environment. Like for instance, your language. Like if you're in a certain environment, you're not going to start cursing, or if you're at work, you're going to probably speak a little bit more professional. If you're trying to if you have a client that you're trying to talk to, like to gain business, like there's
Yeah.
different things that we do as people, and it's normal. It's not saying, oh, you're fake. It's not saying that. It's just you adjust to that situation. So with that example, I would have felt a certain way, and I wouldn't understand why she would have caught it and be like, okay, I don't usually do this, but let me do that. You know.
Can we, I mean, I know what this particular scenario is asking and everything like that, but I felt like we keep talking about these topics where all expectations are on the women.
Well,
It's
so-
like,
Let me-
no.
Let him keep going. You got it.
Because as valid as this particular topic is in this perspective, we could easily, this specific topic, we could easily flip it because that making a plate is making a plate. You know?
Right.
We're not talking about money, we're not talking about babies and none of that serious stuff. It's just making a plate of food, right? And why is it not that instead of him sitting there feeling jealous,
Right.
like, oh, well, they made his place, oh, okay, why couldn't he have gotten up and said, hey, babe, would you like me to make your workplace?
So, and I was going to say,
So let me just add to that, right? So it's two things, right? So from his perspective, let me tell you where he fucked up. You know your wife doesn't do this on the regular, right? If you're going to a setting where majority of people around there are going to do this, like if you're going to a setting where your mother is around, you say, hey babe, I know we don't do this at the house, but we're going outside, my mom's going to be there, I want to make sure you guys are, everything's going great.
So can she do it?
So like if the situation where a place needs to be made antsy, you get me, there's a little hop and skip. Do that.
As an
But
that's a situation and you can be like,
no, but not everybody. The common sense is not as common as it used to be.
But here's the thing, also, common sense is not as common as it used to be or it should be, but at the same time, me using myself as an example, I personally, I'm not against, but I just don't like when a woman is put in a position where she has to serve.
Exactly.
Where she has to, oh, my king. Oh,
no,
here's your food.
She doesn't have to go ballet.
No, dude. But that's what your mom is expecting.
Well, what's wrong with
that's what you talk to your mother.
So there's nothing wrong with serving, but I just don't like it when it's enforced.
Yeah.
Oh, boom. Oh,
Yeah.
this is what you gotta do.
Yeah, facts.
Ask her for. I always tell her, look. My wife she'll ask me, what do you want? I'm like, you know what? Let me come on. So if I was in that situation, I'm up before she's even up to get food. And I'm asking her,
what do you want?
Do you want anything to eat?
That's fine.
And then if she says no, I got it. I'm like, no, I got it.
Oh shit, that's why it's
well,
mine.
I've been playing.
No, but here's the thing. It's not even that. It's just the thing. I just don't like when it's just like you're not my servant.
Yeah.
I don't like that vibe.
But
It rubs me up the wrong.
I think you probably feel that way because of like the cultural
That
expectation that we've seen.
Exactly.
But it's not. There's joy in serving people. At the
Oh,
end of the day. Like,
and guess what? And guess what? We always have a conversation where she says, and maybe it's just a me thing, because every time we have like events, she would always say, "You're never sitting down. You're always up and running." I'm like, because it's an event. I'm trying to make sure everybody's okay. So maybe I carry that into marriage. That's fine. I always want to make sure that she's good. So I'm always asking. Of course, there's gonna be times where she's gonna tell me, "Sit your ass down. I got this shit," and I'm like, "Ooh."
I think it's nice when it's equal.
That's what
little
I'm
things
saying.
like that, because it comes down to who's making the plate, or who's turning the light switch off at the end of the night, or, you know what I mean? Like, who's taking the dog out for a walk in the morning, who's feeding the baby. Stuff like that, that's what partnership is really about. Trading off and not expecting one person to only handle this every time.
Like, just imagine.
Or like paying the bills.
Just imagine.
So I was gonna say this. I was like, he's probably mad because she makes 200K and he makes 100K, and he done spent all his money on the bills, and he outside. And now I gotta make my own plate. You told me. Do something.
Help me understand this. He's
like,
not correct. He's not correct.
No. Because if it's gonna bother you that much that I make $100,000 more in
Then we don't need to be together.
No, it's not
well,
bothering
you
me.
need to get
And that's why I said what I said earlier, where men want to make more money than
No, we
their
don't.
spouses.
I'm legit. We don't want to. Melinda, kids. They're still using kids.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, like, honestly speaking, like, it's not a want. Like, I feel like not every man can handle the woman that makes more than them.
Yeah,
Like, and that is 100% true. That's 100% facts, right? But I feel like if you are secure in yourself, you know what you bring to the table. It may not be monetary. If you're stay-at-home dads, bro, like, it's fine. I don't have to pay any single bill. I'll take care of the kids. I'll raise them. Soccer practice. I said all these things. But at the end of the day, it's like it just depends on the individual. Now, I'm saying, like, if it's a situation where it's the 200,000, woman and the 100K man, and he's like, oh, I paid all the bills, we're having a nice house, the lights are not turned off, and I still have to serve my own plates in public with my boys.
I want to run through these comments real quick. I want to run through these comments real quick. Judy says, must we do what everybody else is doing? Basically saying, look, if those two couples, if two couples their wives brought that food for them, and we don't do that, then we don't do that.
No, that's facts.
Let's see. Chicken says, it's cultural for me too, but man, get your own food. D says, there's nothing wrong with her making a plate for him if that's her culture or, behavior, or what she's used to. But he specifically decided to feel a way doesn't make sense. How many other things is he doing to start tripping about because other people are there? Wow, okay.
But he giving all day.
Going back to what you just said. Chicken says, if I fix you a plate, I don't have to split the bills with you.
Oh no, that's fine then. You know what I'm saying? Like that's logical.
Oh, that's a good trade-off?
That's a good trade.
All right, you can get every plate name. You can.
What
All
else?
the
Is-
bills.
So that's all
No,
you
but
pay
wait.
is how to make
Well,
your plate.
no, she said splits, meaning 50-50 splits. It could be a nice little 60-40.
Oh, nah.
All right, so this comment, this person says, don't fix another man's plate. I mean, we could chime a little bit
Yeah,
on
no,
this.
don't do that.
Don't
shit.
fix another man's plate if you can't fix your man's first. That's what this person said.
Don't fix another man's plate if you can't fight.
Fix if you.
If my
I'm just saying it ain't.
She from
I'm
Chicago, so.
I've never been in a fight, but I have friends, and I can just imagine their reaction to something like that. Oh my
What's-
God.
what's-
yeah, don't fix my man plate.
But think about
Yeah.
it, he's probably like, he was like, but you didn't do it, so someone else.
You can do it, sir.
No, I'm just
Get
saying.
up and get your own.
And then he
I'm just
says,
saying.
he basically says your man takes priority overall.
Well, yeah, if I'm in a situation and my man is here, obviously I'm gonna make sure he good before I go fixing somebody else's plate. But
Especially if he's paying all the bills, so it's like.
Especially
it's
then.
only right.
Absolutely, baby.
I'm like
Eating
eating
it.
that
Right, you want me to cut it up for you?
I don't know.
I don't want a man who wants his steak cut up for him.
No.
Well, why though? Why not?
No.
Like,
Like a child?
that's why we do it medium
Like a
rare,
little-
so you can easily just slice
Well,
it.
then
a
you
little
can do
bit.
it then.
No, I just want. It's a
You like
learning
medium rare?
experience. Medium for the most part, because
No, he
You're a
said
vampire.
medium rare.
Hey, be like that sometimes.
He's
Alright.
saying us around it, but I just want to, to the ladies. So, just speaking back on what we said so far. So, you were not open to splitting bills with your man, or you're also not open to, if it's not your regular traditional way of doing things, you're not open to like being out there and getting up and serving him, and are y'all?
Oh, they're open
That
to
work?
that.
Are y'all?
I am.
Are
Yeah.
y'all-
I mean, 'cause I do it anyway. I like to cook, so when I cook, I like to,
And then,
you know.
I guess what I was trying to say is to tie to that last comment with Chica, does that change if he's insisting on you doing certain things in the house? Are you now saying, you know what, yeah, I'm not doing these other things, yada, 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 I'm not gonna serve you your plate?
It would change for me
It would
personally,
change?
yeah. Like if you're expecting me to put myself in more of my masculine energy,
Mm.
then you're going to
Yeah.
naturally get less of my feminine energy. It's just it's simple
Same.
math.
Damn, masculine, feminine.
So I think this is where you start having a contract renegotiation, where you're like, hey, so now you want me to be doing this in public, so that's be a trade-off. That's not something you naturally do. I feel like you have a conversation, like, now that you want me to do this.
I don't think
maybe
so,
this
because
and
how
that.
often are y'all in public where you're in those situations? You know what I'm saying? So
True.
we go to
True.
maybe chill with some friends or go to these places
Maybe you still
once a month or something. I wouldn't make you do this and all I had to do was get up here
Yeah.
real quick and go fix your plate.
No, I think it's a simple thing for a fact that maybe he starts opening the door for you or something like that.
I mean, the
No.
expectations may
No,
rise.
no,
But-
it's your hand walk.
Oh, you don't open the door for your girl?
No, I feel like if I'm in a situation where I don't have to come around, you're there. I'm picking you up or something like that, right? I can try and open the door,
If
but
you
I
pick
don't have
me
to.
up-
I don't have to stop in the
You
road
try.
and come out. I'm like, oh baby.
Oh my
sorry.
god, it's so much work. Oh.
No, but I could get it. Like there's traffic coming and take
Okay, well I
I'm
can,
not-
I can maybe try.
traffic?
I'm
Make
just-
it make
It's
sense.
New York now.
I can maybe try and get to the stove and maybe stand up there for a whole hour. Maybe. I don't know. Get your ass on my door.
I'm just saying. It's okay. See, this does talk about equality when it's convenient.
You want your door open for you?
No.
Please
I think-
open it.
Oh my
Okay, so
God. Oh my God, please answer.
I'm only bringing this up
Let me
because
walk
what
in.
he just said.
Yeah.
You hear a lot more women saying that they don't want to be catered to in that way because it makes them feel like, oh, I can't do it by myself, or
That's
because
That's
I've
I'm
actually
hearing
heard
more
women that say that.
I mean, just to put that out.
I've actually met women that said that, like, you don't have to open my door, like, I can do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't think that women want to be like that though, truly. I think it's kind of
They're
something that,
made to be
yeah.
like that. Like nobody ain't did it, so damn, I
Yes.
did it myself. Like
exactly.
No,
it
but-
becomes
But if you meet someone that is like that, and like that's his personality,
it depends on if you've never experienced something, when you finally do, it's gonna be a little hard to adjust.
Yep.
Mm.
And it can be scary to try and trust somebody
Right.
too, because if you're doing
So
these
you're
nice
trusting
things
me
for
that-
me now,
so you're trusting.
I don't want to get too used to it in case you stop doing it
So
later.
you're
Because
trusting-
that's bare
what-
minimum.
yeah.
You gotta think.
But you understand that first of all, you're trusting me to have the ability to open the door.
No, you being
That's one.
too.
And two, that's legit how life is. Like think about like marriage per se, right? When you first started dating, maybe you were knocking boots like 2 times a day, and now you're married and it's like 2 times a month. You know what I'm saying? like
2 times a year.
But like these things happen, like changes, like there's certain things that are gonna change in a relationship, especially when you get married. Like who has time to be knocking 2 times a day
Okay.
when your child is there?
Check us out. We're out of time, but I like this group and this conversation. I want us to bring it back because we want to continue on some of these topics, especially what you just said, because the truth is actually have that as one of the topics we need to talk about. Why some women reject advances from men, like simple chivalrous, whatever that is, chivalrous type advances. Because here's the thing, we had a topic which said chivalry really there. So then it kind of led into like a second. So I want us to talk about that. It's a topic that happened in us. I want us to continue, and especially with the marriage thing and that stuff. So if we can bring this rule back to continue that and have this conversation, I want us to do that for sure. But we're out of time, so we can't really jump into the next one. But no, good conversations, man.
Yes.
You guys are just like, you know what I'm saying? Billie G. No, great conversations for sure. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can still share the link with people. They can go back and watch it. The video stays up, so they can always go back and watch. But the only thing is the chat's not going to be up. But you can watch the chat, though. You can see the chat, but you can't add to it after this live is complete. But hey, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. And go back and take these conversations and go have it with other people, just to see where people's head, how they're reaching and stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, good conversations. Any last words you want to?
Also, if you want to be a part of the cast, go to
That part.
www.CTalkTV.com/cast. You should see it up on the screen in a couple of seconds.
That part.
Love for y'all to come up here, be a part of the show. If you have great topics that you'd like us to talk about, go ahead and share it. You can put it in the comments or go to
Slide in the DMs. Let us know.
DMs on Instagram.
That's
Slide into
different
the
for you.
DMs.
Slide in the
We'll love to hear
DMs.
the
Let us
topic
know.
ideas. There it goes up there. CTalkTV.com/cast. Thank you.
But no, good conversation. I appreciate y'all for coming out for sure.
Of course.
Billie, Bri, John. Hey, we want y'all back. Hopefully we bring one more person to the mix and then boom.
Yeah.
But nah, good conversations, man. Appreciate y'all for coming out.
Always a good time.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Black men don't cheat. Remember that. Or lie. Black men don't lie.
She said she out.